Good afternoon. The organizers invited me to talk about crypto regulation, but as I'm not a regulator or legislator, I'm going to be speaking from a very different perspective. A perspective of a founder and CEO of a crypto company, which has been publicly reporting and audited for years and has several thousand shareholders. Um, I therefore must start by stating my background and relevant experience. I've been an entrepreneur for over 40 years. I started at 18 in Russia, my native country, and by 25, I created the largest bank in the Russian Federation. My first visit to the United States was in 1992 when I came with the first president of Russia on his first state visit to the United States and Canada. We were meeting with George Bush Sr., and unfortunately, just a few months later, at the end of 2022, the KGB kidnapped me for ransom to take over my banks and other companies. And after I was able to escape kidnappers, I faced a choice whether to return to Russia or not. I took the first flight to New York and started very new. I became the first person to be granted asylum in the United States from the post-Soviet Russia on political grounds. After 3 decades of providing IT services to US corporations, in 2022, I started Unicoin in partnership with a very talented and internationally acclaimed American businesswoman of Argentinian origin, Silvina Maschini. She is here participating in this conference. The subject of crypto regulation is extremely important, and not only for our company. It's important for the entire country because the stakes are very high. Leadership in the future of money. Issuing the world's primary fiat currency gives the United States unique advantages which other countries lack. When we launched Unicoin in 2022, one of our directors who was presenting Unicoin at major events around the world was Rosie Reyes, a recent treasurer of the United States. She likes to say that she made more money than any other person on the planet. And she is correct. It was indeed her, not Elon Musk, not Warren Buffett. She made $1.2 trillion, all in cash, except she made that money not for herself, but for the United States government. And that emission of $1.2 trillion is an example of the extent to which the United States benefits from issuing the world's primary currency. But cash is becoming a thing of the past. The money has always been evolving from seashells and other primitive forms of money to gold, paper, plastic, payment apps, digital money. And now we are living through the times when digital money is moving from its initial single ledger technology to blockchain, to cryptocurrencies. The United States has the potential of becoming the dominant cryptocurrency country in the world, the crypto capital of the world. Just like Silicon Valley dominates tech and Hollywood dominates the entertainment. Instead, the United States Securities Exchange Commission sought to suppress US crypto industry through its notorious war on crypto. This war was so dirty that a federal judge fined the SEC $1.8 million for gross abuse of power and 18 states sued the SEC for constitutional violations related to that war. In parallel, Operation Choke Point 2.0 resulted in systematic debanking of many crypto companies. My company, Unicoin, has been debanked by at least 10 major banks in this country. Every time it happened in the same fashion, through an anonymous, unsigned letter, where the bank was informing us that they chose to close an account. Then an embarrassed branch officer would say off the record apologetically that the bank had no desire to close the account, but was forced to do so by the FDIC and the Federal Reserve, which instructed the US banking industry not to provide banking services to crypto companies. And I'm sure by now I may be losing attention of at least some of you, because you may be thinking, I'm talking about the previous situation. It's the old news. The war on crypto is over. Now the country has pro-crypto legislators, the pro-crypto SEC chairman, the pro-crypto CFTC chairman, the pro-crypto president. But not so fast. While positive changes are undeniable, the United States is still a very far distance from being a crypto-friendly jurisdiction. In fact, there are no new crypto laws or regulations in effect. And while last year the Congress passed and the President signed into law the Genius Act, that act regulates only one niche of the crypto market, stablecoins. And that law is not going to take effect until next year or later. The fate of the Digital Assets Market Clarity Act remained uncertain. Most disturbingly, the war on crypto continues, and our company is the epicenter of its dramatic showdown. That happens despite our company having been arguably the most compliant cryptocurrency company in the country. In fact, we were the only one that chose to be audited and publicly reporting. We spent over $10 million on compliance. We adhered to compliance standards so high that 2 exhaustive year-long investigations by the SEC found no violations. In order to collaborate efficiently with the regulators, we invited to our board of directors several high-level former government officials, including a recent Treasurer of the United States, a former SEC commissioner, a former White House CFO. We proactively communicated with the SEC. Before major innovations, we would send to the SEC a detailed plan outlining our future steps and asking them to to state their opinion. They never objected. Every quarter, we were submitting audited reports to the SEC and answered numerous questions about our plans. Again, we never received any objections. At that time, the SEC position against crypto was expressed by Gary Gensler in a position who said that every cryptocurrency except of Bitcoin is a security. Being classified as a security is a death sentence for any cryptocurrency because it makes it illiquid. According to the SEC rules, securities may only be traded on SEC-approved exchanges, and there are no SEC-approved crypto exchanges. In this environment, most cryptocurrency companies, practically all of them, chose to avoid the United States as a jurisdiction of incorporation or its base, and they disregarded SEC regulations altogether. They instead chose compliance. We followed the SEC regulations to the letter, and investors liked our transparency and our compliance. They provided us with more than $100 million in cash. We signed over $3 billion of real estate for Unicoin's swap agreements. They filed in February of 2024 our applications for going public, and we started a major advertising campaign in New York and other major cities. Our logo was visible through the streets of those cities at many major sports and entertainment events. We participated in many industry events and conferences. And our billboards were seen by millions of people. And we were noticed, not just by the industry, but by then SEC Chairman Gary Gensler, who decided to destroy our company through aggressive lawfare. That lawfare inflicted colossal damages on our shareholders, estimated at $25 billion. I'm not going to bore you with details of that persecution. You can find it described in detail in my book called Unicoin, War on Crypto and Future of Money. You can easily find it on Amazon. If you have no patience for reading a book, at waroncrypto.us, you can find our interviews on various TV channels. At the very same destination, waroncrypto.us, you can find a documentary which discusses all aspects of that persecution. I'm just going to mention a few relevant facts. SEC commissioners almost always approve the Division of Enforcement's recommendations. So Gensler's team had the lawfare against Unicoin rubber-stamped by the commission last May, and our request for meetings with the SEC Crypto Task Force was denied. Federal rules prohibit us from communicating directly or indirectly with the SEC commissioners or their staff. In short, there is no way for us to bring to the commissioners' attention the absurdity of a situation in which their employees are continuing with the dirtiest of a war on crypto persecutions. The case against Unicoin is so crudely fabricated that it's likely to become the most embarrassing story of the SEC's war on crypto. I won all 5 of my previous litigations with the United States government, and I'm certain that it's going to be 6 out of 6. If I were willing to be bullied by corrupt officials, I could have stayed in Russia instead of putting $1 million bounty on Putin when he started his full-scale aggression against Ukraine. Instead, in the 1990s, a U.S. immigration court granted me political asylum in this country specifically for opposing corruption. That fight cost me my fortune, one of the largest in Russia, but I don't regret my choice. And therefore, I refuse to engage in settlement talks offered by Gensler's enforcers. I intend to expose the conspiracy in court and seek compensation for the damages they inflicted on our shareholders. Please make no mistake, it's not an isolated case of the SEC against Unicoin. It's the SEC versus the crypto industry. They are firmly supported by the industry. The Digital Chamber, the largest crypto association, has requested a permission from court to file its motion to dismiss our case and invited me to be a keynote speaker at the blockchain summit later this month. Conspiracies thrive in darkness, so I will continue my efforts to inform legislators and administration officials about the ongoing conspiracy. In the meantime, I am very grateful to the new SEC chairman, Paul Atkins, for trying to undo the colossal damage inflicted on the crypto industry by his predecessor. The pivotal moment for us and for the industry occurred last November when Chairman Atkins reversed position of Gary Gensler and stated that with a narrow exception, cryptocurrencies are not securities. To be considered securities, he said, issuers must make explicit and unambiguous promise to engage in essential managerial efforts that lead to expectation of profits. His position, which he calls taxonomy of crypto, is the most favorable interpretation of a Supreme Court definition of securities known as the Howey test. Unfortunately, Atkins' position is not a law. It's not even an official SEC regulation approved by all commissioners. It's just the position of the chairman, and it can be reversed by a stroke of the next chairperson's pen, who might well be Gary Gensler again. Today, the US crypto industry still faces regulatory uncertainty, systematic debanking, and in our case, ongoing lawfare. Given the size of the price, dominance in the future of money, many other cryptocurrencies are competing for crypto business. Swiss Crypto Valley, the birthplace of Ethereum, invited us to move our operations there. In the United Arab Emirates, after we presented Unicoin at the World Expo, the Minister of Economic Development offered and granted Silvina and me permanent residence just to incite us to consider moving our operations to Dubai. In the United States, however, we remain at a huge disadvantage to non-US players, most notably to whoever is hiding under the pseudonym of Satoshi Nakamoto. His Bitcoin was green-lighted for trading even by Gary Gensler. But Silvina and I are not permitted to continue providing any essential managerial efforts for our Unicoin, or it will become an illiquid security. Just think of the irony. Bitcoin is an antiquated, non-scalable technology that consumes more power than Ukraine or Argentina. Still, it's fully protected by the SEC. But American entrepreneurs like Silvina and I are prohibited from launching more scalable, more efficient, made in the USA alternatives. In short, we have been forced out of Unicoin business. We had to transfer all essential managerial efforts to Unicoin Foundation, incorporated in the crypto-friendly Cayman Islands. My new business is also related to blockchain, and I, again, based it in the United States, my adoptive country of 35 years. Specifically, I use blockchain technology to create a risk-free alternative to prediction markets like Polymarket and Kalshi. I intend to launch it formally at the DC Blockchain Summit this month. Safe Bets motto is never lose on your bets. My objective is to scale it to 200 million users by 2030. I'm proud to share that Unicoin Foundation chose to make Unicoin the network token for safe bets. People around the world will be able to mine Unicoins on safe bets using proof of intelligence. Unicoin will be known as the smart coin for smart people. Despite the ongoing lawfare assault by the SEC, Unicoin is poised to become a leading cryptocurrency. President Trump, as well as Chairman Atkins and Selig, stated that the objective is to make America the crypto capital of the world. To make it happen, the most important steps shall be passing the Clarity Act, ending systematic debanking of crypto companies, and putting an end on the ongoing war on crypto. Let me stress that nothing I said today shall be misconstrued as a promise of managerial efforts by the issuer of Unicoin. Thank you for your attention.